Love is something that practically every person on this planet wants, desires, um, likes the feeling of. And wars have been fought over love, the feeling of love. Can't touch it. Extremely valuable, elusive. People search their whole lives to get love, to touch love, to experience love, the smell of love. But what is it though? You ask a million people what love is, and they'll tell you different things. But the one common denominator, if you look in the dictionary, well, let's forget the dictionary. Let me give you my definition of love. Love is when you feel intrinsically your oneness with someone or something. Okay? You can love your dog, you can love a person. And a little bit different for a dog or animal, possibly. Just a slight little shift, but not really. The feeling is the same. That you and that other thing together is one. Not you're one and I'm one and together we're one. No, no. You and I together make one. And so that's the baseline meaning of love. Then you have, the feelings that go with that, the more mundane feelings of pleasure, But the pleasure part is not really love. That's on top of love, okay? Love underneath the intrinsic meaning of love is to feel one with something or somebody at an intrinsic, at a core level, right? So we tend, as human beings, we tend to love people, our parents, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, sister, brother, children. It's a very physical love. It's a one-on-one physicality thing, slightly distorted based on what we were taught on what love is. Your spouse, you can almost read their thoughts. They can read your thoughts. Y'all like the same things, and you feel like you're complete when you're with this person, right? So we're taught to love very physically, but I want to talk about a little bit about metaphysical side of love, being able to draw yourself up to love at a more metaphysical level. What does that mean? Metaphysical just simply means beyond the physical, right? Now, my whole premise, my whole platform is everything is energy. And where does energy come from? It's all of this energy that creates what we see came from one source. So in all actuality, the things you see and touch in your day-to-day lives is from one source. All right. Scientists will tell you that there's many colors in the spectrum. There's colors in the spectrum, but there's one spectrum that produces these colors. Right. There's many types of energy. There's this one energy that it can be transmuted or transformed or changed to appear to be something else. Light, electricity, and heat is all the same. It just seems to be different. Infinite intelligence, as in its intelligence, has created a way for things to seem different, even though they're still made or created from the same source. So it's of the same material at its core level, right? So we as human beings, we focus our attention or our love attention on a physical person. But what I wanted is to put a little little thought in your ear about how does God love? How does the Creator love? How does existence love? How does the universe love, the source? What kind of love is that about? How can we get more in tune with loving at a higher level? Because that's really the key for people to get along. That's really the key to ending wars. That's really the key to living in peace, is being able to see and feel, know that the people in Afghanistan or the people in China or wherever, they're still you. They're still of the same source as yourself. Black people, white people, Asian, whatever color, nationality, there's still really only one human race that appears to have different components within them. So when you say you love someone and you fixate on just one person and you exclude everyone else, then your love meaning is distorted some. Love means to be able to be at one with something. And my premise to you is that we as human beings are all created from the same material, the same source. And so I challenge you to lift up your meaning of love and your definition of love to include all people, all things. Uh, uh, let's pretend that there is a entity called God. And God is much more than one entity. Let's just pretend for a moment that God is one entity separate from yourself. Let's pretend for the sake of this video. So how does God love? Well, the Bible talks about God's love. What is that? Yeah, God loves humans and animals and plants and land and everything else because God knows deep down that you and I are one. This tree is me. This ant I'm about to step on is me. Uh, uh, this person over here who's angry, this is me. This is all one. I'm one with everything because I created it all. So, there's no different than a parent who creates or co-creates a child. You feel at one. You feel one. You know this child came from you. This child is of your material, of your source. So it's easy to love a child, easier to love a child. But how easy is it to love someone who you've never met 1,000,000 miles away, 1,000 miles away? It's not as easy. But if you take your mind to the point of, what if this world was a garden and I was the gardener? And I tended to the soil and help and care and bring forth the fruition of all these creatures and animals, the flowers and plants and everything else. Elevate your mind. Take your mind up to the next level of love, not just so physical in your own experience, the people in your own life that you see, but elevate it to the point of things that you have no direct contact with, no direct touch, no direct interaction with. Now, why can't you love someone else that you don't even know? Why can't you love someone that doesn't like you? If you recognize the oneness there, if you recognize that you and another person are of the same source, the same material and essence, and you can feel that oneness there, regardless of how they look to you, that's love. That's metaphysical love. That's not bound by any external circumstances. People say love is unconditional and da 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 blah blah blah. Those are just words, though. Love is being able to feel the oneness in every single thing that you come across day to day. Maybe it sounds a little bit impossible. It sounds a little bit of a lofty goal, but only because you don't practice it. You don't pretend and let your mind wander to the feeling of, or the thought, or even the idea of loving someone outside of your race. It has nothing to do with sex, nothing to do with affection. But when you love someone, you want to be affectionate with them. That's the way we share and exchange this feeling of love. But can you share and exchange this feeling of love with something that you have just encountered? Because deep down that's still you. That's still one with you. You're still of the same source. Can you take a train? Can you get on a bus right now or a train and go to some foreign land and you step off the bus and the very first person you see, can you feel love to that person who you've never met? You're at your core, you're the same. You have the same material. You're more alike than disalike. Love is seeing the similarities in your fellow man. Love is feeling the pain and the anguish, and the pleasure and the joy of all the people around you. Being able to feel the pain, anguish, joy of the earth. You're one with the earth. The earth is at the same source. So, yeah, this video is just about just expand your mind beyond what we've been taught what love is. You know, I love you, kiss, hug, and beyond this, the creature comforts of the physical hugging and touching, and elevate your awareness to metaphysical love. Being able to love outside of your comfort zone, outside of just your mother, father, sister, brother, and your spouse and your children. To be able to do this to a stranger, to a person you've met on the street. Can you feel love to a person who's homeless as they asking you for a quarter, or do you feel contempt and disdain? Get away from me. Check that out. This is going to be a few series of videos I'm going to do about love, and this is part one. Think about elevating your expression of love, being able to feel something of a nature of oneness with every human being that you come in contact with. Try that exercise for the next 30 days.